right, studio time check says it's 34 minutes past 6 a.m. Today is the 18th day in December of 2025, and I bid you welcome and good morning. Yes, good morning and welcome to Perspectives Unlimited, coming live from Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We're located along Alafin Avenue, Uliole Estate, Ibadan. You're welcome this morning to Perspectives Unlimited. We're taking a look at the headlines and the stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. But first, let me ask, how was your night? I hope you slept well. I hope that the weather wasn't too hot or too cold wherever it is you slept. And I hope that as you've woken up today, you've taken a moment to thank God for the gift of life. It's not by our power or by our might. Now, I've been alive since January. It's just by the mercies of God, right? So I hope that you've taken a moment to thank your Creator who ensures that you always have the breath of life. You're welcome once again. On Perspectives Unlimited, we'll be taking a look at the headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria today. Make sure that you're following us because we're live on Facebook at the moment on our Facebook fan page at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. I'll take that again, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, and we want you to like our live video at the moment. Also, you can find us on YouTube at Wells Radio 89.3 FM. You can also find us on other social media platforms at Wells Radio 893 FM. On Instagram, on TikTok, on X, you find us all there. All right. Welcome once again. Let's get straight to the matter. My name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola. This morning, we have the front pages of the Punch newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper, and the Vanguard newspaper. We're taking a look at these three dailies to have a clue, to get a clue of what's happening in the country and maybe outside the country as well. We'll start with the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. The lead headline says, Dangote quick, Farouk falls. I'll take that again. Dangote quick, Farouk falls. Komolafe also quits job at NUPRC. Tinubu nominates successors, seeks Senate approval, prioritize local refining, says Agbakoba and others. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. More headlines. NLC protests against insecurity in Abuja and other states. Arrest prosecutes those funding insecurity, says Labour. That story is on page 29 this morning. More headlines from the Vanguard newspaper. You can't tax hunger, opposition tells Tinubu. That story is on page 8. Tinubu writes NAS seeks approval of 43.56 trillion naira reenactment budget. That's on page 35. Federal government confirms release of Nigerian aircraft soldiers after Tugar meets Burkina Faso leader. That's on page 6. Court bars IGP, NPF from enforcing tinted glass permit policy nationwide. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Why NDIC revoked house sale contracts with Senator Bunza, says MD. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. All right, let's take a look at more headlines. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, the lead headline says, tax laws altered. Section 64, subsection 1. It says, well, I'll read this when we get into the program, but that story is on pages 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. More headlines. Multiple explosions rock Auchi. That's on page 15. Gunmen killed 12 miners in Plateau. You find that on page 12. Tinubu to present 2026 budget to National Assembly tomorrow. That's on page 6. We're not intimidated by attacks on PDP, says Benga Hashim. Warns against one-party agenda. That's on page 13 of the Daily Trust newspaper. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, petrol war fallout, NMDPRA and UPRC bosses resign as Dangote's petition rocks sector. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. JAMB to accredit 1,039 CBT centers for 2026 UTME. That's on page 3. Fresh storm brews over new tax law. That story is on page 3 this morning. Federal government bans wood export, revokes licenses. You find that on page 15. Malami kicks after EFCC raids Kebbi and Abuja homes. That's on page 7. Ogun government orders fresh Awujale selection process. You find that on page 7 as well of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines: insecurity, federal government, NLC to meet in January. That story is on page 2. Salaries, debt service gulp 105% of government revenue. That's on page 9. We have the picture of Mr. Wale. More headlines: for investors push for Lagos Calabar Highway concession. That's on page 9 of the Punch newspaper as well. We'll be taking a look at many of the stories as we go on Perspectives Unlimited this morning. And I'd like to bring in our analyst on the show, Mr. Lalipo Sani. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, madam.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, I decided not to say how do you do today. And let's go the Nigerian route of how are you doing. All right, so I did say while I was taking the headlines on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper that I wouldn't, read the section about the tax laws, and I'd like us to start from there, because I was a bit, surprised and perplexed yesterday when I saw the story that said that.
But I said it here already that what they gazetted was totally different from what the House passed.
Yes, and now the House of Reps have also cried out to say that, look, this is not what we agreed to. Some parts have been changed, and many people said, well, I saw this on social media, so it's not my own words. The person said common sense should then tell you to let us know what has been, changed. And maybe citizens can then figure out, oh, this is why this has been changed, so that we can also protest alongside the House of Reps. The Daily Trust has this, section 64, subsection 1. On the side of the official gazette, it says the tax authority shall have the power to investigate or cause an investigation to be conducted to ascertain any violation of any tax law, whether or not such violation has been reported to the relevant tax authority, and shall also have the power to arrest any person suspected of committing such violations through relevant law enforcement agencies. That's what the Daily Trust says, the Nigeria Tax Administration Act 2025 in the official gazette. Now, on the other side, it says that the tax authority shall have the power to investigate or cause an investigation to be conducted to ascertain any violation of any tax law, whether or not such violation has been reported to the relevant authority. So there's no the part of the power to arrest anyone suspected of committing such violations. That's what the House of Reps passed. That's what they saw yesterday, and I'm sure that's not the only. That's not the only part of it.
This is even very trivial
very
compared
mild
to the other things. The section that says that this certain percentage is going to be based on population, contribution, and what's it called? Just the general land, template to share money. I'm talking about VAT income now.
Yeah, which was what was the initial issue when this tax matter came up. The North was kicking to say that it should be shared.
I've been hearing that the North, it's not the North that is going to be most disadvantaged. It is going to be the Southeast.
The Southeast?
Yes.
Okay.
And now everybody is saying that, okay, in the name of fairness, in the name of equity, let things go round. At least 50% is going to be based on equity. Then contribution, then population. But guess what? What they gazetted is different, totally different from what was approved by the House of Reps and the Senate. And there is no word in my head right now that can qualify that level of crime. It's more than forgery. It's more than alteration. It is, as far as I'm concerned, it is akin to treason, because the National Assembly is an independent tier of government. And now you are altering what they have said simply because you want to suit yourself. Such a person should face treason.
So the real question here is, we could continue to say such a person, that person. Obviously, it's not a Mr. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Who is, responsible for things like this?
The first person to hold right now is Oyedele, Taiwo Oyedele.
But he's not the head of the.
He is the head.
The new.
NRS.
I was going to say he's not the head of the JTB, the Joint Tax.
No. He is the head of the body that actually came up with the new policy.
Okay.
I don't know if you're aware, tax reform bill.
Yeah,
it was the one that actually galvanized everything. It was the one who sat at the top.
That's why it's the one that's been going around to explain it all.
Exactly, and he collected 5 whooping billion naira to do that.
That's not a small job.
Compared with the figure, I mean,
let's put the money he
tolerate.
collected aside, because he could value himself one way, and once you agree with the valuation, that's fine.
Well,
but so he's
the one to hold responsible right now. Yes, because he did everything. In fact, when he gazetted it, he told the whole world that okay, it has been gazetted. Oh, it will be gazetted. And if he was not going to have any input into what was going to be gazetted, he wouldn't have been telling us that okay, it will be gazetted tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So as far as I am concerned, Taiwo Oyedele should be behind bars for now until at least we can investigate and set him free.
Will that, in a way, not now hinder the
truth of the matter is that once an alteration has been detected, common
sense
should say that you should suspend everything for now. Let's now sit down again and check section by section, subsection by subsection, paragraph by paragraph to see that okay, what was approved is what you guys have enacted. There is no need to hurry, except there is.
January is almost here.
No, the truth of the matter is that it didn't become law today, quote unquote. I mean, it has been found to be fraudulent now, but at least it has been around for a while. They said they were going to start implementation come 1st of January 2026. Now that the veracity of the document is being questioned, give it at least another 6 months to verify if what we actually approved is what is on the pages of the book. If it is not, then we need to start afresh.
All right. If you're just hearing about this,
it's going to be as good as swindling all of us as Nigerians.
If you're just hearing about this, a member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abdulsamad Dasuki of Sokoto State PDP, yesterday raised the matter of privilege on the floor of the House. He alleged discrepancies between the tax laws that were passed by the National Assembly, that's both the Senate and the House of Reps, and the version subsequently gazetted and made available to the public. He said that his legislative privilege had been breached, and insisted that the content of the tax laws as gazetted did not reflect what lawmakers debated, voted on, and passed on the floor of the House. He said he had gone over the past 3 days to carefully, review, and he saw that there were differences. And then there's something he said. He said that he's raising the matter. And he's pleading that the document should be brought before the committee of the whole, and so that they can see.
The committee of the whole means the entire
everybody,
group,
yes,
the entire member of the House of Reps.
So that they can see the difference and be able to talk about it. And he says it's a breach of the laws and should not be taken by the House. But we've not heard anything from the Senate.
No, the truth of the matter is
are they not also looking at the same documents?
The truth of the matter is that they have also been violated. In my opinion, it's not about breaching their rights. It's actually about violating their rights. And it's something that should not die down just easily like that. It's what I raised in this studio over 2 months ago. Thankfully, there are still opposition members. If everybody is going in the direction of APC, trust me, nobody will even bring this to the floor of the House of Reps. But thankfully, there are some.
Does this have to do with any political party?
It shouldn't. But in all seriousness, we live in a country where common sense is missing. So I am thankful to the House of Reps member who brought this to the attention of everybody in the House of Reps. Now, Nigerians now know officially, apart from one guy speaking in one blue studio, that something is wrong, something is wrong. Now it is now on the floor of the House of Reps. The Senate will have no other option rather than to say, okay, what exactly is happening? Let us look into it. And at this particular point in time, should it be verified that it was altered, it's going to be an act of injustice against Nigeria and Nigerians to not to jail whoever is responsible for it. And as far as I'm concerned, the very first person to hold responsible is Taiwo Oyedele. He should pay for this.
All right. In the coming days or in the coming hours, we'll expect obviously something from the government, side, something from the
executive.
Either from the executive, executive arm, or at least from the tax guys themselves.
They're still part of the executive.
Well,
they are not going to say anything, especially if it is true, which I believe.
Well, so the question for me is, what happens?
Then the Senate, the National Assembly,
silent, and then don't forget that it's one person who spoke in the House of Reps. The Senate hasn't spoken. No. What if he's just a lone voice in the wilderness?
If that's the case, then it is as good as true. Then they would, at that particular point in time, they would have empowered us to say exactly what is in our minds. I have a lot of things to say right now, but for the sake of fairness and justice, let them defend themselves. Should they now fail to defend themselves after ample time, then we now say what we have in our minds.
All right. Let's move on to other stories this morning on Perspectives Unlimited. If you're just joining us, this is Perspectives Unlimited, coming to you from Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. We're still taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. Quickly, obviously we're going to talk about the row between Aliko Dangote and the now former NMDPRA boss. We all saw that video. In fact, I put it on my status where he spoke about it to say how can all his 4 children they all attended a school in Switzerland. This is the school fees. One of his children just finished his an MBA in Harvard. And for a civil servant of his stature, how was he able to afford this? And, he went on and on to say, I'm not, calling him out to spite him, but questions must be asked. He said he's going to petition, or he petitioned the ICPC, to look into the matter and see what's going on. And then Yorubas have a proverb, the witch cried yesterday, the baby died today. Who doesn't know that it's the witch that cried yesterday that killed the baby that died today? Let's take a look at the story. The Punch puts the headline as a petrol war fallout, NMDPRA and UPRC bosses resign as Dangote's petition rocks sector. Nigeria's petroleum sector was thrown into fresh uncertainty on Wednesday following the resignation of the chief executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed, and his counterpart at the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Gbenga Komolafe, amid the deepening controversy triggered by allegations and a petition filed by the president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote. The presidency announced the resignations of the 2 regulators on Wednesday, a development widely seen as fallout from the escalating disputes between the Dangote refinery and the NMDPRA over fuel importation, pricing, and regulatory oversight in the downstream sector. The shake-up came days after Dangote publicly accused Ahmed of economic sabotage and petitioned the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, to investigate what he described as questionable personal wealth, including allegations that the regulator paid about $5 million for the secondary education of his 4 children in Switzerland. On Sunday, Dangote had launched a direct attack on Ahmed, questioning the source of his wealth and how he could afford such an amount for his children's education. And the allegations escalated on Tuesday when Dangote formally wrote to the ICPC demanding a full investigation into the NMDPRA boss. In response to the petition and the controversy generated, Ahmed was summoned to the presidential villa and his resignation was subsequently announced. Komolafe, who was not directly involved in the immediate dispute, was also affected, with sources indicating that the presidency opted for a simultaneous leadership change at both regulatory authorities. Now, the president, according to... Amen. Now, according to the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, he's saying that President Tinubu has asked the Senate to approve the nominations of new chief executives for both agencies. The President is requesting expedited confirmation of Orise Meiwa Amanorise Eson as CEO of NUPRC and Engineer Seidu Aliyu Mohammed as CEO of NMDPRA. Much more than what's just happening, Mr. Sani, in the NMDPRA, NUPRC, the attack launched by Dangote. Some, I don't want to generalize, some of our politicians are also living this life. Try to check some people's portfolio to see what they do. Are you a businessman? Are you into buying and selling? Are you into consultancy? But you realize that they're not exactly doing anything other than their occupation is they're politicians. And you see that their children are schooling abroad. Our other analyst said this on Tuesday, I believe, that you see that their children are schooling abroad because they're not going to hide it. They'll even go for the graduations and snap pictures, which is not a big deal for your children to school abroad. After all, children of common Nigerians are also seen abroad. But you see them flaunt extravagant lifestyles on social media. You see their children flaunt, I just bought a mansion, follow me, a day with me as a child of a Nigerian politician, that just bought a mansion in America. When are we going to have this done for everybody?
Well,
and shouldn't this be a pointer to the executive arm to say, you know what, let's do an audit, for example, of the NMDPRA and the NUPRC as a whole? Because if the head, and I will say that Mr. Farouk Ahmed is still innocent until proven guilty, but let's do a full audit for the entire house. Because if at all the head is rotten, the head is not going to be rotten alone. Some other parts of the body are also going to be rotten. Instead, what we're seeing here is a rush to get someone else in the helm of affairs.
There is no better way to describe that other than to say that they want to sweep it under a giant carpet. Looking at the magnitude of what Dangote is saying, an ordinary carpet cannot contain this. It must be a mega carpet. Mm-hmm. I am not pleased whatsoever with what the president has said. It shouldn't be a case of go home. Going home at this particular point is
just exonerating them.
Let's not put much attention into what's happening. Guy, just leave. Let another person come on board. And at that particular point in time, everything dies down. I am bold to say that everything Dangote is doing is not because of the fact that he likes me or he likes you. He's doing these things because he likes himself. I said something here. I've been saying something.
Oh, he's a businessman. You can't fault him for that.
I cannot. But what I'm trying to say is that, I've been saying something in the studio that I do not and can never support a scenario where we are going to rely on just one person for our fuel. It is most certainly going to lead to monopoly. And at that particular point in time, price fixing happens. How did we get here? Farouk Ahmed gave out licenses to people to bring in fuel into the country. And at that particular point in time, Dangote picked up the gauntlet. He felt like this is a challenge. This is going to affect my business. What did he do? He started to say all sorts of things that he must have known about Farouk all this while, but he didn't say until he got affected. And on the other hand, on the practical aspect, he reduced the price of fuel from his own depot, they call it ex-gantry price, from 728. From 828 to 699. That is 129 naira reduction. Simply because somebody gave out licenses.
But that's business.
No, it is not business. I'm coming somewhere. Simply because there is going to be competition. And at that point, you reduced your price drastically with nothing practical, nothing economic accounting for that. The price of crude didn't fluctuate.
Is that not how business is done?
That is not how business is done. And I will tell you. In America, there is an agency of government that is in charge of price fixing. People are in jail for 200, 300, 400, 500. Somebody is in jail for 600 years as I speak to you.
Do we have such a working body in Nigeria?
We have. There are some products or services that are essential. No matter the number of billions of dollars you have as Madam Bola today, should you go into telecommunications, you cannot fix the price. You will have to rely on the NCC to tell you this is how much you are going to sell your per minute. Or
that was the issue we had when the telecommunications
started protesting, and NCC
price.
eventually said, okay,
you
may increase by this percentage. And why is that? It is an essential service. Communication is essential. Number 2 is electricity. All these people dancing disco, I hope we are going to talk about the current situation of power in the country.
We will. It's very important.
No matter how many megawatts you produce today, you cannot say, I want to sell my kilowatt at 1,000 naira. The NERC will still have to tell you that this is how much you... Before, there was an agency called PPRC, Petroleum Pricing Product. Do
you mind if I pause you for a moment? We'll take a short break.
At the vex, we'll
take a short break. When we come back from that break, Perspectives Unlimited will continue. So don't go anywhere because we have so much to talk about. But we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Christ Ambassadors International College is a private, co-educational Christian day and boarding school located at Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. We offer a blend of Nigerian and British curricula designed to nurture global leaders with godly values. With world-class facilities, exciting co-curricular programs, exceptional pastoral care, and outstanding academic results, we ensure your child's dream becomes a reality. Our entrance examination for 2026-2027 academic session will hold on Saturday, 14th February 2026 at 8 a.m. For inquiries, please call 0704 530 8414 or 0814 177 2806 or visit www.ChristAmbassadorsCollege.com. Christ Ambassadors International College, nurturing global and godly scholars.
Are you hungry for something delicious? Food that feels like home but tastes like pure luxury? Then welcome to Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile. From our smoky jollof to rich ofada sauce to a variety of delicious soups like egusi, eforiro, and more, paired with your favorite proteins and hot, freshly made swallows, all made for you to enjoy. We also handle bulk orders in liters, fresh and ready whenever you need it. We deliver it to your doorstep. At Honeydew, it's not just the food, it's the feel. With our beautiful ambience, perfect for your romantic dates, family outings, or your quiet, relaxing evening escape. Join us every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for karaoke night with Jayola and enjoy music, games, food, drinks, and free mocktails and cocktails as you sing your hearts out. Visit us at Plot 42, Block 8, Alaafi Avenue, beside Wells Radio, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For your doorstep delivery or inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0814-691-6635, 0814-691-6635. Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Hey there! Want to stay connected to your favorite radio station? Follow us on social media for the latest updates, entertaining wholesome content, and behind-the-scene peaks. We're on Instagram at Wells Radio 893, Facebook Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, X Wells Radio 893. Follow our WhatsApp channel Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Get a scoop on upcoming shows, giveaways, and events. Also get to interact with your favorite presenters and share your thoughts on our posts and stories. Join the conversation and stay tuned into Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
All right, you're welcome back. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. The studio lines are open and you can be a part of the conversation this morning, okay? I'll put out the studio lines so that you can get your phones ready to call us and join the conversation this morning. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893 and 0911 3333 893. I'll take the numbers again: 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893 and 0911 3333 893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning. Before we took the break, Mr. Sani, we were talking about the issue between Dangote and NMDPRA.
The truth of the matter is that.
So the question I was going to ask is, you said that there's a body responsible. You talked about the NERC for the electricity and the likes, the NCC for
there is a
telecom.
body like that
what
in Nigeria.
Body is responsible?
FCPC, that should be their job.
The FC.
No, I said that should be their job. It is
That's
within
the
their mandate.
consumer protection. Rights.
Exactly.
Are they supposed to be responsible for fixing the price of petrol?
Nope. But they should be responsible for making sure that you do not overbill the people. Do not overcharge.
But in
the
this
people.
case, Dangote is not overbilling the people.
He is,
he has reduced his price.
That's not the point. Before he reduced the price, what made him take it that high? And as a businessman, Input should determine output. We know your input. Your input is crude oil. That's your stock. The price didn't crash by 15-20% overnight, but overnight you reduced the price by almost 20%. It means that you have been overbilling us by at least 20% in the past. Come on, explain. What Ben say, Mike? That is what should happen at a particular point in time, but nobody is saying anything. I have always known who Dangote is. I know the experience as regards sugar, as regards salt, as regards cement. You know, the list is endless. That is his pattern. I think the government, especially the federal government, needs to clip his wings. I cannot be the president at a particular point in time. A certain player in the economy will face opposition and now crash price by 20% and still survive. That business will still survive, and we know. I don't know. You must come and explain.
The president, I said the president, the federal government has a 7.2% stake in the Dangote refinery, as opposed to the 20-something percent that we're supposed to have. Will I say federal government or the NNPC? Well, whichever. As opposed to the 24%, I believe. 20% that we're supposed to have. Now we have about 7.2%.
Dangote came out openly to say
that
he
said
you were supposed to pay $2 billion, but you didn't bring the $2 billion. So for that reason.
Also looking at the fact that if I own 2%, of a company, I own, I think, 0.something% of a particular telecoms company.
I know exactly.
And they send me, every time they're going to make a decision, they send me an email. Why is the government not, having its own input?
The truth of the matter is that should Dangote sell at, let's say, 2,000 naira per liter, it is going to benefit the government because at the end of the day, they are going to get their own cut of 7% from the profit. But that is not the responsibility of government. Government is not in government to make money. Government is in government to make lives better for the people. So if your priority is about taxing the people, making sure that, everybody that can tax them taxes them so that your money, your cut at the end of the day in terms of dividends and taxes are going to be high, then you have lost it. You have lost it totally. And it's not just in the area of energy. It's also in the area of power. If you pay 1,000 naira to the disco guys, 400 goes to the federal government. I do not understand that. And it's not just the federal government, I say, it's the Central Bank of Nigeria. Are they remitting the money?
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, What's Radio.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Okay, good morning. My name is Salami. I'm calling from Awosan. Good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Morning, sir.
Thank you so very much for your analysis this morning. In fact, you have always made my day, and this morning you did not disappoint me. Thank you. You see, for me, on the Oduekun-Ayoola versus Farouk Ahmed, it's just unfortunate that Mr. President has just allowed the man to go because, honestly speaking, Dangote has just started as a template for fear in either an MPC or any regulatory body that may likely threaten its monopoly. That's just it. And let's not forget too soon or in a hurry how Kenya Otedola implicated Farouk Lawal in order to frustrate the subsidy scam probe in the House of Reps those days. Some years back. That is the craftsmanship of a businessman. And Aliko Dangote has just played it up. And unfortunately, I'm just falling for it. Way forward, it's just that for us, I also appeal to the President to take it a matter of priority to deliver a functional refinery to Nigeria. Otherwise, Dangote will encapsulate the entire oil sector, and he will be on top of it. And that's too dangerous for this country to build an economy around an individual. May God help Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salam.
I have been saying something, and trust me, I am not ashamed of saying it. I'll say it again. There must be other sources of fuel. And if it has to be importation, please let it be. If you leave it to one person, we are going to suffer.
The question is this. When you say if you leave it to one person, is it going to be the government deliberately leaving it to one person, or
ineffectiveness of the government?
Not ineffectiveness of the government. Okay. As it is now, we still have people who are importing, fuel, and they seem to be matching the Dangote, price for
dollar
price.
For dollar.
Yes.
Naira for naira.
So are you saying that we're going to get to a point where these people who have chosen the option of importing fuel are going to be stopped? Can that happen?
Should Dangote have his way?
I mean, by the government. Can the government say stop importing fuel?
That is exactly what Dangote wants, and that is why Farouk Ahmed had to go.
But there are other ways. Apologies.
Oh, please.
There are other ways, to, will I say, force a stop?
Okay.
Which is one of the things he's doing. For example, like bringing down his prices ridiculously, such that those who are importing will not be able to compete. Also, he's also he's been drumming about the fact that they're importing inferior quality of petrol.
And they accused him of exactly the same thing, and he didn't manage that well. They said he brought in bad stock of fuel from the UK. And his excuse, as far as I'm concerned, was Bala Blue. It didn't make sense.
So I don't know, there are other ways.
See, I was saying something before we went on break. The NMDPRA didn't just happen. It was an amalgamation of a lot of government agencies in the petroleum sector. The DPR, the PPMC, the PPPRA. PPPRA is Petroleum Pricing Regulatory Agency, something like that. It is part of the mandate of the NMDPRA to say, okay, we have looked at what you guys spent to get to this particular point. Your profit margin has been included, and for that reason, fuel should go for this particular, for diesel it should be this, for petrol it should be this, for kerosene it should be this. But NMDPR has not been doing that. They have been doing all sorts of nonsense. I will not cry over Farouk Ahmed. He deserves worse. I don't believe he should go home. I think he needs to.
I know that the ICPC has promised.
Now that the president has said he should go, I mean, it's as good as they have settled the whole matter, and that is unfortunate. In all seriousness, he needs to explain. NUPRC has a lot of money to play with than NMDPRA. The two of them have gone home. It's not just about going home, it's about, if you can bring out $5 million for secondary education for your kids,
how much are you going to spend for
imagine how much of money that you have in your pocket to play with. But for me, we need to understand that this is an essential commodity, and the government needs to step in. What have you spent? Okay, this is your profit margin, and let it be. It's only a matter of, the current guy right now will be on his toes. He may not want to cancel the existing import licenses, but trust me, for the second quarter of next year, he will say he will feel like, okay, the guy that was before me left this seat simply because he granted import licenses. If I want to stay here, let me not grant import licenses. And at a particular point, we are toast. We become toast bread in the hands of Dangote, and I don't want that. What's
the solution?
The solution is that pending the period where we are going to have more refineries.
Do you think we're going to get to that point?
There is a guy building his own in what's it called?
I'm talking about the government, the federal government.
See, the truth of the matter is that for the federal government refineries, before talking about rebuilding a new refinery or building a new refinery or rebuilding the existing ones, we need to make examples out of those who put the current refineries in their current situation. Otherwise, the money is going to go through the same route. But if you make examples out of the people who mismanaged yesterday, if you give the money to even the biggest thief in the world, he will respect himself because he knows exactly what is going to happen. So before talking about building...
There must be a deterrent.
There must be a deterrent, a very, very strong one. That is it. Pending the time where I do not believe that a guy building his own in Akwa Ibom is going to be any way different from Dangote. They are Siamese as far as I'm concerned. The two of them are twins. They have the same ideology. And the name is Abdulsamad Rabiu. In all seriousness, if it's going to be Dangote and Abdulsamad Rabiu, please, let's import. Because if we do not import, it is going to be problematic for you. I do not care about these guys. These guys don't care about us. They're only about making more money. Dangote was, quote-unquote, a poor guy until he finished this refinery. At the point he finished this refinery, he became a mega big boy overnight.
A poor guy?
In the world of billionaires, Forbes, he was struggling before. But upon completing this refinery, he shot up drastically. So it's his business, not my business. You will not ask me to overpay because you want to rank high on the Forbes list. That's not making sense to me. You are a businessman providing a commodity, an essential commodity. You deserve your profit. You deserve your flowers. I like the guy. He's a fighter. He's a rugged guy. But that doesn't mean you have the right to dip your hands into our pocket and bring out money. That is it.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Sani. The studio lines are open, 0916-893-1000, 0915 333 4893 and 0911 3333 893. I'll take the numbers again: 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893 and 0911 3333 893. I know that what happens to most people on Thursdays is that you enjoy the show so much that you enjoy the show so much that you just want us to keep talking. That you're like, no, let me not disturb their flow. It's fine. You can call us. We want you to call us and give us your perspectives on these issues. Let's move on to take a look
Please,
at
we
more
need to
stories.
discuss two more stories. Number one, energy. At the vex for that one. Number two, repealing and reenacting the 2024 budget.
Yes, because
It's
it's a whole lot of grammar, and many people do not,
Really
understand what
means.
it's about. We did take it in our national news yesterday, and someone reached out to me to say, okay, so I heard this, but what exactly, does it mean? We're hearing this, we're hearing that. What exactly does it mean? And so yes, we will indeed take a look at it. So apparently, yesterday. The president wrote, okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, you beautiful little woman.
Good morning to you, sir.
This is Mr. Mario.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Mario.
Mr. Sonny, good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, the point is on the issue of the tax of the thing. I think I was listening to some people yesterday, and I also called in that program. And what is agreed on was that we will need a tax expert, to come on board and analyze the nitty-gritty of the tax of the thing, of the new tax law.
Are you saying to come on board Wells Radio?
Yeah, maybe to come on board on Wells Radio.
Oh, okay,
because Wells Radio is a good platform. Yes. Because there are so many things that are even brought up online that I channeled it through Wells Radio. And it was collected. I have like 2 or 3 of them. So we need a tax expert to come on board to tell us the nitty-gritty of that new tax law. Because let me be frank with you, there is anxiety in the land talking about the new tax law now. On the platform that I belong to on WhatsApp, I have like 3 or 4 platforms that we are having a current issue. We are having an ongoing issue on that new tax reform, because on that new tax law, because if the anxiety is much, and people are like, oh, this is the amount I'm collecting. Hope I will be able to say true. You want to say this amount of, and the thing was just facing confusion. And I have to tell all of them, so you guys have to wait. So let's hold on till next year January 1, and let's see how the thing will roll out, because we cannot die before. We can't die before their time. Because there's even the guy in question that political party lost that job. Don't see me. What's his name again?
Mr. Taiwo Idile.
The Taiwo Idile. Yeah, he himself is leader here, not there. Look at what he did. He went to the Senate chamber to present your tax or whatever, and it was signed on that he should go ahead. And he now went ahead to do opposite of what he took to the Senate chamber. So he himself, I think, is a man that like what Mr. Sonny said, the guys should be behind for now. And I think we will wait till January to see how the thing will play out. Then by then, it will be much more clearer to win Nigeria where we are heading to.
Thank you so
secondly,
much,
on the issue of
Okay, you have about 1 more minute. Please go for it.
1 more minute, okay. On the issue of the Farouk and the Dangote, see, it's not all about him resigning like that. But because he has gone to see the Mr. President, look at this former guy, the former minister, I think the Minister of Science and Technology that resigned a while ago. I forgot his name now. Remember that we are clamoring that the guy should pay sanction like that. Should pay sanction. And the guy went to see Mr. President, and everything died down. And till now, I think that was not the end of the case. But look as well, that will be the end of the case. Forget the fact that you are taking the matter to ICCC. Nothing will ever come from it. Because they are going to feed Mr. President, who see himself as the almighty creator of this country. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mario, for your contribution this morning. Quickly, yes, Mr. Sani, let's talk about the budget brouhaha. It's a lot of grammar, and I'd want us to talk about if you can explain explain it to us now. So this is from the Punch newspaper, posted yesterday, and they say that President Bola Tinubu has asked the National Assembly, that's the Senate and the Reps, to consider and pass the appropriation, which is budget yes, repeal and reenactment bill of 2024, involving a total proposed expenditure of 43.56 trillion naira for the 2025 fiscal year. He put it in a letter titled Transmission of the Appropriation, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2024 to 2025, dated December 16, and addressed to the Speaker of the House, Tajudeen Abbas, and of course the Senate as well. And he said the bill was submitted in line with established constitutional and legislative appropriation processes, explaining that it seeks authorization for the issuance of some money from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation for the year ending December 31st, 2025. He detailed the proposed expenditure. He specified the breakdown. I don't want to, go too much into it. Let's not forget that some days before this, I think it was last week Thursday, we're here and we're talking about the fact that they did say that all the money is not spent for
70% of the capital project should roll over to 2026.
So let's put that together.
The truth of the matter is that it's not making sense. There's no way it can make sense to you. You are a logical woman. You are a very brilliant woman. I can tell you that you cannot understand, because not even the president understands what he is saying at this particular point. A budget has a timeline. A budget runs for just 12 months, 12 calendar months.
That's what we know.
That is what it is. That is what it is. Now, 2024 is going to be repealed. Repealing it means you are cancelling, you are abrogating it.
What happens to the money spent
now
in 2024?
The point now is that you are now reenacting it. What that means essentially is that the budget is not going to be active. The point is...
Sorry. Let me ask, maybe on behalf of people listening or on behalf of myself, you are reenacting it, bringing it back.
Back
was
to life.
Money not spent in 2024? And the money spent in 2024, was it not accounted for?
That's number one. Number two is this. If you are bringing out a budget, you have your expectations. Okay, this is how much we are expecting to net for this year.
Yes, you bring out the budget based on your revenue.
The money did come in 2024. And you spent money in 2024. In all seriousness, for God's sake, you should retire that budget at 2024. If you are now bringing that budget back in 2025, it means that you are confused. You do not know what you are doing, because money that you make in a year must be spent in that year. If you do not spend that money in that year, then you lock it in a safe account. You withdraw it back from the ministries, from the agencies, from everybody. Put it in a safe place. Then 2025, the following year, you now add it to your expectation, your revenue expectation for that new year. But now, are you now saying that all the projects you did in 2024, you are going to cancel them and rebuild them?
How about the money already spent?
The people that paid taxes in 2024, are you now going to tell them to go and pay another tax? It's not making sense. This is banditry at governmental level, as far as I'm concerned. It's not making sense whatsoever. We should all focus on 2026. If there is any money that is left to be played with, lock it in a safe account, then add it to the 2026 budget. Okay, now the president, I understand, is going to present a budget
on Friday
tomorrow. Now we're talking about 2024 budget.
Why?
No, in a single calendar year.
Why are we going back? Was it that enough money wasn't spent in 2024? Was it that the money spent in... I don't know
if you listened to the Minister of Finance during the week. He said there is a massive budget shortfall for 2025.
For 2020, which is the year we're in.
We are in.
And just for clarity, for people who are listening, what's a budget shortfall?
30 trillion.
What does it mean to have a budget shortfall?
What it means is that what is coming in is not in any way near what you thought was going to come in.
So there's not enough money to finance the budget. But just this year, the government has borrowed a lot.
Let's not even talk about borrowing. In Yoruba land, there is a saying that says that not just about there is no respect for a king who has no wife. There is also no respect for a king who lies. The president came on national TV on the 1st of October to tell us that Nigeria doesn't have revenue issues. That as of August,
and several agencies have also come out to
say
that
this is how much more than what we targeted. FIRS has said that we have made more than what we targeted for 2025. Customs, the same thing. NNPC, the same thing. NUPRC, the same thing. And now just a couple of days before the end of the year, you are telling us that you have only been able to meet 25% of your target. Where is the remaining money? The truth of the matter is that some bandits are collecting money in the bush while some are collecting money in public offices.
We may need to truly have a finance expert.
You don't need this. All what you need is a common sense expert.
About this.
Right now, you told us months ago that you have already had all the money that you intend to have for this year, that there would be no borrowing. Subsequently, you have borrowed from outside of the country, you have borrowed within the country. Despite the fact that you have borrowed more than you even, they said they were going to borrow 14 trillion for this year. They have borrowed more than that. Now you have the audacity to tell us that you have only been able to get just 25% of. That's nonsense.
Nigerians are asking questions, and we don't know who's going to answer these questions for us. But you can start somewhere. Visit the budgetoffice.gov.ng to take a look at what the 2024 budget was like, what the 2025 budget.
No, 2024, 43 trillion.
Yes.
2025, 55 trillion.
Just take a look at the breakdown and probably do a bit of citizen journalism to checkmate what was done, what was not done, and then also see who is going to answer these questions for us while we wait for the president to come tomorrow and present this budget for next year. We'll continue to ask our questions. Join us on our subsequent news bulletins at 12 and at 8 p.m. But for now, it's bye-bye. Thank you so much, Mr. Sani.
It is. That's my fact I have a very big headache. It is an honor to be here.
A big thank you to everyone who joined us, who called us and sent messages. But we have to go now. The sports crew is right on our heels, ready to bring you the latest stories in the world of sports. My name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola. Good morning and God bless you. Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.
It's unbeatable.
You know the vibes when you tune into Wells Radio. Your preferred awesome radio. 89.3, they carry me go. I just follow, they carry me go. You know the vibes when you tune into Wells Radio. Your preferred awesome radio. 89.3, they carry me go. I just follow, they carry me go. Fill your ears with awesome.